Hi, this is Frode, and today we will explore 3 key ideas from Jesus by Paul Johnson. Jesus, subtitle, A Biography from a Believer. Paul Johnson is an historian and best-selling author, and we have already featured his Socrates and Darwin, 2 great biographies, and in this biography of Jesus, he invites us to take a look at the life of one of the most important people who have ever lived, who has impacted billions of people throughout 2,000 years, and who will probably keep impacting people thousands of years going forward, if we exist that long. The reason that I love reading biographies so much is that these people, like Jesus, Socrates, Darwin, then you have people like Benjamin Franklin and Elon Musk, is that all these people are kind of like trailblazers into the future for us, and it's like they look back and say, this is the path I took, this is what I achieved. And then we have the option when we read these biographies to look who did this person actually become? What did he do or she? And do I want to do the same, or do I even want to surpass this person? Or do I just want to use their greatness of vision to expand my own vision and to gain more courage in realizing the possibilities that I have for my life? So that's just one reason why I like reading biographies so much. The possibilities that it evokes in us. So there are 3 things that I want to talk to you about today. The first one is, what were some of the top strengths, the qualities, the virtues of Jesus? Secondly, how can you discover what's true about something? And thirdly, how can you find your mission, your life's task, or your life's calling? So, first, what were the top strengths of Jesus? Well, I want to mention 3, and let's begin. The first one is that we can assume that Jesus was self-educated, since he had such a wide scope of knowledge. He also probably had a lot of practical experience, since he was so skillful and concise in using metaphors and analogies to allude directly to people through his teachings. And this is one of the reasons so many people loved listening to Jesus, since they could relate to him and the things he talked about. Another strength that Jesus had is that he was inclusive, which means that he opened his arms to all of humanity, and in a really astonishing way took them with a great confidence, warmth, and naturalness. There wasn't anything forced to the way he accepted everyone as who they was, and didn't really make any differences between those he taught. He also taught a lot by asking questions. Even though he knew the answers himself, he wanted to engage his listeners so they could start discussions among themselves about what truly constitutes the good life. Socrates also did this in ancient Athens, about 500 years before Jesus was born. And he is said to have brought philosophy down from the heavens, where people only studied outside phenomena about nature, and down into the streets of Athens, where people could discuss among themselves how to be good, how to be happy, how to be virtuous, and all those things. So, the third strength that Jesus had is that he was friendly. There was just something about the way he held himself, the way he spoke to people, that could make you feel unique even in a crowd. And he just had this mesmerizing and charismatic personality. Not in that pumped up way like motivational speakers, but more like through his own character, of his grounded and kind nature. So those were some of the top strengths that Jesus had. Self-educated, he was inclusive, and he was friendly. And as you know, I love looking for the virtues and strengths of people in these biographies. One of the great reasons that I read them, since they kind of demonstrate how we can be good people and develop our own qualities. But that's the first big idea. The second big idea is, how can you discover what's true about something? So as you know, a lot of religions like Christianity, Confucianism, and Buddhism claim to know what's true about something, what's absolutely true about life. And they all have many followers, believers who go and start praying and repeating the words of those truths. But now, let's imagine this. Imagine that I personally go to the moon. I travel to the moon and investigate and really get a good sense of what it is. And on what the surface is like, what the atmosphere is like, and all that. Then I come back to the Earth, and then I start teaching people. Look, that is the moon. And this is how it's like, this is the shape of it, this is what you'll experience once you go up there. These are all the rewards you'll get. But a mistake that most of us make is that we look at the finger, at the teacher, instead of looking at what they are pointing to, which is the truth. Where the moon is the truth and the finger is the teaching, the words, the teacher. And what I'm really trying to say here is that words, teachers, knowledge, and anything else outside of you can only ever be pointers to the truth, but they're not the truths themselves. No matter how many times you repeat those words of those people, like the quotes that you love so much from your favorite role models and such, although they can be useful to improve our behavior. So, let's look at it like this. I can take a papaya, which is a fruit I have never tasted and or seen, I think. I don't know the color. And I mean, you can take it and you can describe it and describe the taste of how delicious it is and how wonderful. But I don't really know what a papaya is until I see one with my own eyes and actually taste one. I grasp it for myself. So how do you really grasp what's true? The number one thing that I believe is most important is to move away from that danger of always looking for the answers to something outside of yourself, thinking that you need to go into a book, into a course, or listen to someone else for something to be true. And instead, to learn looking into things for yourself, to really go experiencing whatever it is that you want to learn more about, whether it's mastering a new skill, presenting, how to create better relationships, how you can stand with a straighter posture, like really. And so the one aspect of discovering truth is experiencing it yourself. The other one is starting to question of what something really is. For example, what is a relationship? What is the best way to create a long and lasting and happy relationship? What do I need to do to be a good boyfriend, to be a good brother, to be a good son? And then when you start asking these questions, wherever you are, you can just be walking outside and you start pick one topic and that you want to learn more about, for example, something you want to master, and then you keep asking questions about it and try to look at it from every perspective and really look deeply into it. And eventually you'll start having these insights into the nature of it. For example, I have been contemplating questioning reading a bit. And I started to realize that when you read, you're not actually supposed to just glide your eyes through ink letters on a page. But instead you're trying to really understand and imagine and see the meaning of something that's out in the real world. It seems like a very small distinction, but there's a big difference between reading something and listening to what someone says and actually trying to imagine what they are describing inside this world that you're living in right now. So that's just some examples of insights that you can have. But the most important thing is to think for yourself, which is the most vague suggestion you can give. A more specific one, start questioning things. Stop looking for answers outside of yourself all the time. just experiment with whether you can learn about the essence and about the true nature of something yourself. And you can look at the video I made of the Book of Not Knowing for more on questioning and realizing the truth for yourself. So that's how you can discover the truth. Words are only pointers to the truth, but not the truth themselves. So you need to discover it personally. Third big idea is, how can you find your mission, your life's calling? Let's see how Jesus did it. It's said that Jesus had a lot of different callings, that he perhaps deliberately went from job to job before he eventually started teaching. He started his real mission at the age of 30. Let's see what this really is about. This is basically a guy who was he was the son of God, destined to be the savior of humanity. And still he spent 30 years living as a human being before he could start teaching. And this is something about his humanity. He might have been might have been divine and the son of God, but he also was a human who needed to learn and experience different things, meet different people in order to understand all these things, so he could eventually reveal his calling, his mission in life. And that's when he could start. And there's another point I want to make, that he was 30 years old when he discovered it. That's quite encouraging, isn't it? Because if you already have a calling, a mission that you're fired up about and that you're pursuing each day, then that's great. But be open to the possibility that there might be an even greater calling, which is waiting to be revealed. If you don't have a calling or a mission that you're on, something that for which you were born to do, then you might be 30 years old right now, spend 1, 2, 3, or even 10 years doing different activities, pursuits, projects, exploring life until you finally find your calling, at which age you might be 40, and still have about 40 years to live out your destiny. And that's opposed to the possibility of just giving up, thinking that your life isn't really never going to amount to anything, so you just give up finding your calling, and then you live 50 miserable lives, 50 miserable years, instead of really making an effort to find your calling. So to make this really practical, here is what I'm doing as I unravel and I reveal my calling. That is to, right now I'm learning to write poetry, which might be a part of what I'm going to do, what I'm born to do, since I find it such a great way to reveal insights and really get something concisely said, as opposed to just blabbering on like much of what I do in these videos. Secondly, I am going to start studying history next year, because I'm so fascinated about how we can see what people did wrong and right in the past, so we can create a better future for humanity, which is a pretty big vision. And thirdly, I'm just absorbing everything within the field of personal development, of realizing human potential, because that's really what I am excited about. So there are a lot of different things I'm doing. But I'm curious, what is some activity, some new study that you can begin? Perhaps some new book that you want to read, a course you want to take, or an experience that you want to pursue. Just get clear on those, one of those, and know that as you are experiencing life and see what is fitted to you, what you love to do, and what you feel that you're here to do, then it will become more and more clear what your mission is. So that's a quick look at the 3 key ideas that I liked most from Jesus. Let's do a quick summary before we wrap up this video. Firstly, we looked at the top strengths of Jesus, some of them, which was he was self-educated, inclusive, and friendly. Then we looked at the idea of discovering the true nature, or discovering what's true about something for yourself, only looking at teachers and words as pointers to what the truth is, but you need to grasp it for yourself, especially through questioning. And thirdly, we looked at how we can find our mission through pursuing a lot of different, perhaps callings, jobs, interests, activities, until it gets clear and we can focus down on what we feel we are here to do. That's a very quick look at Jesus by Paul Johnson. I hope you liked it, and if you did, I think you'll love the book. Please like this video, share it with some friends who might also benefit from the ideas. Please leave a comment of what you thought about the ideas, and I'd love to follow up with you there. And finally, subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date for key ideas for realizing your ultimate human potential. Thank you very much for watching, and have an awesome day.